This is the introductory video to CRJ560, Applied Legal Studies. In this course, we'll be concentrating our study on wrongful convictions. Welcome to this course. It is designed to provide students with the opportunity to apply investigative, legal, judicial, and ethical concepts of criminal justice to real cases. This semester we'll be studying both wrongful prosecutions and wrongful convictions. Although the criminal justice system gets it right most of the time, sometimes it doesn't. Therefore, this course will be an examination of cases where the system failed. By studying these cases, we can identify the weaknesses in our system and explore ways to address those weaknesses. The required text for this class is called Actual Innocence. It was authored by Barry Scheck, Peter Neufeld, and Jim Dwyer. You may recognize the name Barry Scheck. He's one of the original founders of the Innocence Project. This is an older text. It was originally published in 2003, but it's still one of the best texts around for studying wrongful convictions. We'll update this older text with a recent special edition by Time magazine. It's called Innocent: The Fight Against Wrongful Convictions, and it has some very recent information that will be helpful to us in this course. This magazine is available on Amazon. The Innocence Project has identified the primary causes of wrongful convictions. They are erroneous eyewitness identifications, false confessions, the use of unreliable informants or snitches, ineffective defense attorneys, bad lab work and junk science, and prosecutorial misconduct. As you all know, it is the duty and obligation of everyone in the criminal justice system to ensure that only the truly guilty are convicted and punished. We all have an obligation to serve victims of crime, and from my experience in the criminal justice field, most prosecutors and police officers and even defense attorneys do that well. But we have an equally strong obligation to serve the victims of a flawed system. It is equally important to free the innocent as it is to convict the guilty. So what cases will we study this semester? Several cases will be addressed during the course of the semester, and many are profiled in our text or in the assigned readings. But we'll look at some in even greater depth. For instance, John Thompson. John Thompson was convicted of a murder he did not commit. He spent 18 years in prison, 14 of them on death row. When the true facts came out, it was discovered that not one, not two, not three, but 4 assistant district attorneys withheld evidence that would have exonerated him. The John Thompson case is one of the most egregious examples of prosecutorial misconduct in the history of this country. The Norfolk 4. You might think that no one would ever falsely confess. That is, no one would admit to a crime that they didn't commit. But in this case, 4 young men, separately, confessed to a violent murder that they had nothing to do with. The study of this case is fascinating as to why people claim responsibility for something they did not do. Thomas Drake. Thomas Drake was an executive at the NSA. When he revealed waste, fraud, and abuse at that agency, he was targeted for prosecution. This was a wrongful prosecution, not a wrongful conviction. When we study his case, you will see how the power of the prosecutor's office can devastate a life, even when a conviction doesn't occur. Aaron Swartz. This is another case where we'll look to see whether it is prosecutorial overreach. Aaron Swartz was considered one of the Internet's brightest lights. He downloaded files from JSTOR, an academic library with which you may be very familiar, and for that he was charged with multiple crimes under federal law. Looking at many years in prison as a possibility, Aaron Swartz took his life before trial. His suicide was a tragic event and a loss for the world, and we'll look at whether that prosecution of Aaron Swartz was appropriate and whether it may have contributed to his suicide. Now, some of you may have trepidations about taking an online class, but I think you're going to find that it's really easy. The WCU designer is helping to create a site that is easily navigable. Note that on the home page, you can expand or collapse the sections by clicking on the arrow at the right end of each banner. Nearly everything on the site is accessible from the home page. Click through the site and familiarize yourself with its pages and content. Watch the daily brief several times per week as I will post updates throughout the course. Do not try to take this course using mobile devices. You will need a laptop or a desktop computer to take this course. If you're unfamiliar with online learning, review the student tutorials provided by WCU at their D2L site. Let's take a tour. So here's our D2L site. If you've never taken an online course before, it really doesn't look like much. Across the top is a green banner, and I've chosen the quote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere" by Martin Luther King. That seemed a particularly appropriate quote for this course. The pictures to the left of the quote are of people we'll be studying this semester. On the far left is John Thompson, about whom I've just spoken to you, and in the middle is Thomas Drake, another person we've just spoken about. To the right is Craig Watkins. Craig Watkins is a district attorney in Dallas, Texas. As a district attorney, he formed the first conviction integrity unit to make sure his office convicted only the guilty and not the innocent. Each banner is collapsible by clicking on these arrows. If we click here, this is the introduction. You're looking at this video now, so you're going to complete listening to the video and read the text below. To clean up the page, you can collapse it. This banner or widget is about me. There's my office hours, my location, so you can reach me anytime you need to. This widget contains links to every one of the course documents. I've put it on the home page for easy access. The Student Lounge widget provides a link to a Student Lounge forum. This is where students get to communicate with one another. I'll join in too occasionally if I feel I have something to share, but this is basically your discussion group. The daily brief is my primary means of communicating with you. I'm going to be posting things to the discussion board 2 or 3 times a week possibly, so be sure to check the daily brief several times per week. This widget takes us to the first 5 weeks of the semester. This goes to week 1, the introduction, week 2, eyewitness identifications, week 3, also eyewitness identifications, week 4, false confessions, and week 5 is the first exam. Let's see what a page looks like. This is the page for week 1. It tells you everything you need to know about your responsibilities for this week. There's an overview of the subject matter. There are the assignments for what you should watch or read or participate in, and an opportunity to contact me for questions. In the right column, there's usually interesting and informative material. This one is about the text. At the bottom, I've provided a link so that you can go easily to week 2 if you want to. And here's the information for week 2. Again, the same format: an overview, the assignments, and an opportunity to ask questions. Don't forget to read this right-hand column. I'm going to go back to the course homepage. Every one of these links is to a page for that week and provides you with complete information for that week. This widget gives you links to weeks 6 through 10, and this widget gives you links to weeks 11 through 15. So I think this is pretty easily navigable for you. Let me know if you have any questions. So how do you approach this online course? Online courses should be taken only by students who are self-motivated and disciplined. You are responsible for much of the material on your own. So be sure to read the course documents carefully. Make sure you understand the terms of the syllabus, the research paper guidelines, the discussion board guidelines, and make sure you understand the course schedule. The course schedule is important as it gives you dates to which you will be committed. And how are you evaluated? Your final grade will be determined as follows. There will be 3 open book exams. Each one of those exams is worth 20% of your final grade. There will be a research paper that will also be worth 20% of your final grade. The average of the discussion boards is 20% of your final grade. While you can generally move at your own pace, you must make time on specific dates for the discussion boards and the 3 exams. Check the course schedule for the 3 exam dates. On those dates, there will be a window of time within which you must start and complete the exam. Within that window, you will have a specified period of time to complete the exam. Make sure you're available on those dates. The fall semester has a short break early in October. We'll work right through that week so that we can take the entire Thanksgiving week off. Again, take special note of the course schedule. The primary drawback of an asynchronous online course is the lack of real-time face-to-face classroom discussions. Discussion boards are intended to simulate classroom discussions. This course is particularly suited to student discussions and interactions, so there will be several discussion boards throughout the semester. The boards are also designed to ensure that students have completed the assignments for the topics, understand the information, and are able to synthesize concepts and ideas. Think of your postings as short essays. And remember, read the discussion board guidelines carefully before you post. Note that the discussion boards are 2-part events. On part 1, you'll be asked to answer 1 or more questions posed about the assignments for the week. Those postings should be in essay format. Part 2 provides an opportunity for you to respond, again in essay format, to your fellow students. As you know, criminal justice is always affected by current events, so discussion board protocols and schedules may be modified during the course of the semester. So how do you ace this course? Watch and study the relevant PowerPoints. I've taken quite a bit of time to create them, and I'm hoping they'll be helpful to you. They're not long, and they're full of information you need to understand the issues and to do well on both the discussion boards and on the exams. Be sure you have completed all of the reading and viewing assignments before participating on the boards. The boards are designed to determine whether students have completed the assignments. You can't earn an acceptable grade without having first completed the reading and viewing assignments. Be sure you have completed all of the reading and viewing assignments before taking the exam. The exams are not cumulative, so you will have a smaller number of viewings and readings to study for each one of them. The exams are open book, so you can do some research as you take them, but they're timed. There's no way a student can do well by simply searching the book and the readings and the viewings as you take the exam. So be sure you have completed all of the reading and viewing assignments before taking this exam. Take special note of the questions posed on the discussion boards, and take special note of the comments and questions posed on the content pages for each week, especially the ones in the right column. These will give you helpful hints as to possible essay questions on the exams. The research paper is the final 20% of your grade. You'll be conducting additional research on a wrongful conviction or wrongful prosecution case of your choice. Don't wait till the last minute to complete this paper. Start doing research now. Review cases of wrongful convictions or wrongful prosecutions and decide which one you'd like to explore in greater depth. Then see the research paper guidelines for the details. If you have further questions, look to the course syllabus and the other helpful documents, which can all be accessed from the home page on our D2L site. If you have technical problems, you need to contact the D2L staff at 610-436-3350. But if you have non-technical questions, please feel free to contact me. My office hours are posted on our D2L site, and you can either stop in or give me a call. My office is in 514, the Business and Professional Management Center, and my phone number is 610-436-2648. And of course, I can be reached anytime by email. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you for enrolling in this course. I'll do everything I can to make this an enjoyable, educational, and thought-provoking experience, and to help you do well. Welcome to CRJ560.